Hi there, I'm Danny Flexen and welcome to the latest edition of SecondsOut FLEXpectations. We're here, as you probably know by now, every Thursday, 4:30 PM to look ahead to the weekend's boxing action. Biggest event taking place this weekend is of course the return of Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, the Kazakh terror. You may as well call him a legend. Now he's certainly a future Hall of Famer. And he's kind of gone back to basics a little bit in that when he was reigning as a world champion for a long time, before he had those fights with the likes of Danny Jacobs and Canelo, he tended to pick out the very best of the fringe contenders out there because he couldn't nail down at the time those really big fights. And he's kind of gone back to that again with a third fight with Canelo off the table for the time being, despite both being with the zone. Canelo's obviously moving up in weight to challenge Sergiy Kovalev in November. This weekend, Golovkin will go for one of his old belts, the IBF middleweight title, against Sergiy Derevyanchenko. Now, Derevyanchenko presents a tough challenge, although he's kind of been written off to an extent in the build-up to this. Golovkin's still quite fresh with his new trainer, Jonathan Banks. He seems to be changing styles a little bit as well, which at his age and after such a long amateur and pro career, the kind of whether that's sensible or not remains to be seen. But he's going in against Derevyanchenko, whose only defeat in, I think, 13, maybe 14 pro fights is against Daniel Jacobs, and he gave him a good fight. He's come back since then with a good win, impressive win over Jack Colkai, and now fights Golovkin and believes he's seen some kind of flaws in Golovkin, especially at this advanced age, that he can exploit. Derevyanchenko, he's got an excellent jab, he's a good mover, he's a good, really good technical boxer. He really knows what he's doing in there. And I don't think this will be the walkover many are predicting. I looked at the odds earlier, and I'm not going to kind of encourage anyone to part with their money because, you know, I'm often wrong about a lot of things, not just boxing. But Golovkin to win on points, which is what I would kind of predict if I had a gun to my head, is 6-4, which isn't bad at all, really. You know, Golovkin is known as a banger, but in recent times, as he's gone up in the levels, he has been extended the full 12 rounds more often. And Derevyanchenko is a robust, kind of durable sort. It will take something special to get him out of there, I think. I see more of a chess match, especially in the early going. I definitely feel Golovkin even now is the superior fighter, but I'm not sure he will stop him. But that's just my opinion. And then it's on to see if, if Canelo beats Kovalev, or even if he doesn't, whether a third fight between those guys can be arranged. Golovkin's certainly not going to harm his standing or his negotiating power when that comes to fruition by having an IBF title, by having a world belt. Also this weekend, I should just mention, Friday night, so tomorrow night, is the first MTK Golden Contract Tournament quarterfinals in the featherweight division. And it's already been kicking off before it's even started. We saw earlier today, Mexican Carlos Araujo, if I've pronounced that correctly, it doesn't matter because he's out of the tournament now anyway, so I can pronounce it however I want. Felial got replaced by Razak Najib, who will now be fighting Tyrone McCullough. Obviously difficult for McCullough to change opponent at short notice, but bear in mind the Golden Contract competitors only pick their opponents on Tuesday, so 3 days before fight night anyway. So it doesn't really make that much difference in that sense. And Najib's come in late, obviously got everything, he was one of the reserves, got everything to gain, very little to lose. But McCullough is still, several levels above Najib based on their resume, so you would expect him to get the job done. But also today at the weigh-in, it kicked off between the Walsh brothers, or at least two of them, and Ryan Walsh's opponent in the quarterfinals, Cuban Heron Sakaris. Keep your hair on if you like. I've already used that one on Twitter, but you can have it on YouTube as well. He did keep his hair on. He wound the Walsh brothers up a bit. There seemed to be some dispute over whether the Cuban had made the weight correctly or not, although the officials said he had. And then he got into it with Ryan Walsh during the stare down, and as he was walking off the dais, got into it with more kind of colourful language, it's fair to say, with former pro and Walsh's older brother, Michael Walsh, who, watch the video on our YouTube channel and you'll see exactly what he threatened to do and which phraseology he used to do so. But it's all very exciting, even in the build-up. I haven't really got any tips as such, but what I would say is that Carlos Gomez, the Spaniard who's the Spanish champion and the EU champion, is overpriced at 10-1 against Jazza Dickens. If I had to pick, I would pick Dickens to win, don't get me wrong, a very talented operator. And Gomez has been struggling with the weight noticeably this week, training often in a sweatsuit. Having said that, he is aggressive, he is talented, he's coming in off on a good winning run, and he's a puncher. So I wouldn't kind of rule out him winning. And at 10-1, they're great odds in a two-horse race. But make sure you tune into that. That's on Sky Sports from 8 o'clock, I believe, tomorrow. and then obviously switching over to Golovkin, Derevyanchenko 2. Not 2 as in they fought before, but as well as the Golden Contract fights. Let us know which fight you're most looking forward to this weekend, what you make of Golovkin at this stage of his career as he regressed, and what sort of chance you give Derevyanchenko. I'll read some of the comments, maybe respond to a few of them, but I'll be back obviously next week for FLEXpectations, next Thursday, 4:30 PM. I'll be here to reflect on all the weekend's action at the aptly named, or in the aptly named, Reflections, Monday at 4:30 PM. Really appreciate your time, it's always a pleasure, and I will see you again soon. Cheers.